To understand the desert is to understand death. The Shara Mountains of southern Jordan offer no mercy. In summer, the sun bakes the rock to 50 degrees Celsius. In winter, the skies tear open, unleashing floods that scour the canyons bare. It is a landscape designed to kill. Yet, 2,000 years ago, an enigmatic tribe of nomadic spice traders looked at this barren wasteland and saw an empire. These were the Nabataeans. History remembers them for a city of incomparable beauty, Petra, the rose-red jewel of the Levant. But to call Petra merely beautiful is to fundamentally misunderstand its genius. Petra was not a monument to aesthetics. It was a fortress of survival. This is the story of how a wandering people mastered the ancient world's most unforgiving topography, transforming the lethal extremes of the desert into the greatest hydraulic and lithic engineering marvel of antiquity. The foundation of Petra's miracle lies in its unique lithology. The city is locked within a massive deposit of Ordovician Silurian sandstone. Woven through this ancient rock are dense bands of iron and manganese, giving the stone its iconic bleeding hues. But this sandstone offered the Nabataeans something far more valuable than color. It offered perfect malleability. The Nabataeans did not build their greatest monuments. They subtracted them. Monoliths like Al-Khazne, the treasury, and Ad-Dir, the monastery, were carved entirely in situ, a Latin term meaning in the original place. Rather than hauling stone blocks from a quarry, Nabataean stonemasons used the mountain itself as their canvas. They employed a staggering, scaffolding-free technique. Finding a natural fault line or ledge near the top of a cliff, the masons would carve a staircase into the rock face. Standing on these carved steps, they began their work at the very top of the pediment, chiseling downward. They cleared the rock beneath their feet as they descended, letting gravity do the work of removing the debris. Every column, every capital, every towering doorway was freed from a single unbroken cliff face. A single mathematical error, a single heavy strike of the iron chisel, and the entire facade would be ruined. Yet their precision was absolute, but carving stone was only half the battle. You cannot drink stone. In this arid basin, rain is rare. But when it falls, the steep topography funnels the runoff into the slot canyons. These seasonal flash floods are a lethal wall of water, rock, and mud. The Nabataeans, however, possessed an unparalleled understanding of their environment. They did not just survive the floods, they harnessed them. At the entrance to the Sick, where floodwaters threatened to drown the city center, engineers constructed a massive barrier, the Dam of the Sick. Spanning 88 meters across the canyon mouth, this structure caught the raging torrents. To prevent the dam from overflowing, they bored a massive diversion tunnel. The Muzhlim Tunnel straight through the solid mountain, redirecting the lethal floodwaters safely away from the city. They had captured the water. Now they had to distribute it. The Nabataeans tapped into the deep aquifer and the captured runoff, creating a vascular system for the city. They laid hundreds of kilometers of interlocking sealed ceramic pipes. This is where their engineering borders on the miraculous. To maintain water pressure without bursting the terracotta joints, the pipes were laid at a precise, unvarying 4-degree hydraulic gradient. This exact slope ensured a constant, gravity-fed flow of fresh water, traversing mountainsides, crossing ravines, and filling over 200 massive hidden cisterns. Because of this hidden hydraulic empire, a desert wasteland became a thriving oasis. At its height, Petra sustained 30,000 citizens. It was a sprawling, opulent caravanserai, a hub of global trade, where the air was thick with the scent of roasting cardamom, the heavy perfume of crushed frankincense, and the sweat of thousands of camels arriving from the deep sands of Arabia. As their wealth exploded from the monopoly on the incense trade, the Nabataeans looked outward. Petra became a crossroads of the world. Its architecture evolved to reflect a globalized empire. Look closely at the great tombs. You will see the grand Hellenistic pediments and the intricate Corinthian columns of the Greek and Roman worlds. But the Nabataeans were not mere copyists. They mastered foreign aesthetics and bent them to their own will, creating a profound cultural syncretism. They stripped the traditional acanthus leaves from the Greek columns, replacing them with their own stark, geometric, horned capitals. And nestled within the Greco-Roman niches were not just foreign gods, but the deities of the desert. Dushara, the lord of the mountain, and Al-Uzza, the goddess of power. The Nabataeans carved their genius Lochi, the spirit of the place, into the very skin of Western architecture. No empire of stone lasts forever. In the year 106 AD, the shadow of Rome stretched across the desert. Emperor Trajan annexed the Nabataean kingdom, renaming it Arabia Petraea. The Romans brought their own architects, expanding the colonnaded streets. But the true death blow to Petra was not dealt by a Roman sword. It was dealt by the sea. As maritime technology advanced, the great trade routes shifted away from the perilous overland desert caravans. Merchant ships began sailing up the Red Sea, bypassing Petra entirely. The rivers of wealth dried up faster than the desert rain. Following a devastating earthquake in 363 AD that shattered the hydraulic infrastructure, the city began to empty. By the time the Islamic conquests swept the region in the 7th century, the great rose-red city was largely abandoned, left to the Bedouins and the Whispering Sands. For centuries, the Western world forgot Petra existed. But the city was not defeated by the desert. It merely returned to it. Today, the water no longer flows through the ceramic veins of the Sikh, but stand before the towering rock-cut facades, and you can still feel the ingenuity of a people who carved a masterpiece. Petra remains,